beast! Ah!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Not the Bees, the Nicolas Cage filmography podcast. I'm Megan and I'm here with Elizabeth. How are you, Elizabeth?
I'm good. How are you, Megan?
I am excited to talk about this movie. That's how I'm doing. This week we watched Windtalkers, which is a 2002 movie. It's 2 hours and 14 minutes long. It's directed by John Woo, but it only has 33% on the tomato meter. As far as a synopsis, Nicolas Cage is a Marine named Joe Enders. He's assigned to protect a Navajo reservation resident named Ben Yahzee, played by Adam Beach. He's a code talker. He's the Marine's new secret weapon during World War II. This is in 1943. Ender's orders are to protect his code talker at any cost, but if his code talker gets taken, he's to protect the code at any cost. And it's set against the Battle of Saipan, where they're trying to take over for a strategic military position. And it asks the question, if he can't protect his fellow Marine, can he bring himself to kill him to protect the code? High stakes. It's a high stakes movie. And I fucking hated it.
It's a snooze fest.
It's a snooze fest.
Oh my God. So, first of all, this is the least John Woo film I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Second of all, star-studded cast.
Listen, for how stacked this cast is, it has no business being as terrible as it is.
It literally put me to sleep, Megan. I literally had to pause it at an hour and 7 minutes into it. I had to pause it and go take a nap because I was exhausted. The pacing in this movie is terrible.
Do you know what it reminds me of? It's just like one very long, 2-hour performance piece of PTSD with a couple of middling breaks in between.
Yeah. So it opens with Nick Cage in a different battle, and his entire platoon is slaughtered, and he is the only surviving member, and he definitely has some PTSD. His ear is definitely messed up, and he's got survivor's guilt, and all he can think about is getting back into the war, and he doesn't really like this job that they have assigned him to look after this Navajo code talker.
No.
Because he feels like he let down his entire platoon, and so now why are you going to make me babysit somebody else? But that's all beside the point of how very slow this movie is.
It's very slow, and it's probably made worse by the fact that the focus on the cameras keeps going in and out. There were several scenes where it's discussions between two characters, and you keep switching back from point of view. And I think probably the worst one was when they're on Saipan and Nick Cage is drunk. It's after the first real battle, and Nick Cage is drunk, and he's talking to Ben, and Ben and Enders are looking at each other, and the focus on the camera that is looking at Nicolas Cage is so fuzzy and soft focus, and the one looking at Adam Beach's character is very crisp, and I mean, for what it was in 2002, but you can clearly see him. That's a pain in the ass. Not to mention, overall, with regards to the terrain, it looked like they were on the set of MASH.
What one thing that really, really bothered me was they're in the shit and they're calling in air support, and it cuts to footage of these battle carriers launching off rockets, and it is grainy, like archival footage. Like they
Yeah.
couldn't get actual footage, but they didn't bother to master the archival footage to look anything like what the actual movie looks like.
No. There's so many points in this movie where I feel like it didn't even try.
Yeah.
And like, this is probably going to be unpopular, but you know this. I love Peter Stormare. I will watch anything that man is in. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. He was wasted in this movie. Also, why is he an American Marine? That just seems weird. Right? Mark Ruffalo's mustache was its own character. And like every time I saw it, it just zeroed in. And like I can't no.
Christian Slater was a pleasant surprise.
He was. Actually, I'm just gonna say all of the acting, actually, the stacked cast that they had was really good. And
I think the acting in this movie was great.
100%. Every single one of them brought their A game to that role. I just really wish that had been
But
enough.
The acting cannot overcome the dull source material and the absolutely pedestrian plotting. Like it moves so slowly.
Yeah.
That I don't know how to describe it. I just don't know what else to say about it aside from the fact that it is slow and plotting and not very, like, the visuals aren't very pretty or aren't very striking. Like they're not supposed to be pretty, you're in war, but they're not interesting.
Well,
visuals.
I actually thought there was a strange like juxtaposition between the constant fucking war scenes and then anytime you would transition, you'd get like the sky or the ocean and it's like very peaceful. But then like 5 seconds later, you're right back into the shit. And it's like, why do you keep doing that to us? Like, why do you keep like dissolving into big blue sky or mountain scene or into the waves? And then like, why are you giving us these very calming sort of scenes to transition to? And we're literally in the middle of a war zone right now. Like that felt very disjointed to me. It didn't feel like it connected anywhere. Also, like, as much as the acting, like, could not save this, as much as great as they were at acting, like, it couldn't save it because the characters, other than Joe Enders and Ben Yahzee, there was
all
no
one-dimensional.
depth.
They're all one-dimensional.
Yes. It was, like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, what is your motivation for this? Why are you... Also, this movie is so fucking racist. I can't, like, I literally wrote that as a note, like, 4 fucking times.
I give leeway when they're talking about, you know...
Time periods, period pieces, like, we're in the 40s.
Pieces, yeah.
Sure, listen, and I would do that too, except it's just, like, it's like someone was like, we're making a movie set in the 1940s, we have a license to be, like, as racist in language as possible. There's a difference between using that inflammatory language as a device to show people like, hey, this is the way that the society is right now. This is the strain that's on it. This is part of that. And it's a completely different thing to just continue to use that language, because this film is not Django Unchained. And I feel like Django Unchained is that's probably the most you could get away with, and it was done well for what it was. But like as far as like how many slurs are said in this movie, it's the only other film I know of to compare it to. And it was so many different degrees of racism. It just bothered me. Me.
Noah Emmerich's character Chick is so one note, and he's just, I'm the big dumb racist guy.
Yep.
And every word out of my mouth is going to be something terrible.
Right. The entire time. Also, and my last name is Chick.
And they just foisted it on this one character, which makes him so irredeemably unlikable.
Yeah. Also, again, Christian Slater was such a great little treat in that movie.
You know who was a really great treat?
Who?
Jason Isaacs.
I love him. I love him so. But
I
also,
know.
a waste. He was there for 5 seconds. Why would you hire Jason Isaacs to deliver 3 lines?
Because everybody wants to be in a John Woo film. Everybody wants to be in a period piece. So it's probably an easy get for him to come in for one day.
It is World War II,
say,
yeah.
I'm in a John Woo film. Like,
fair.
I was like, oh, it's Jason Isaacs. And then he was gone.
Their acting made it watchable because they acted the hell out of it. And, like, I really enjoyed Nicolas Cage's performance.
Yes.
In Windtalkers. Like, I enjoyed it so much that, like, I'm fucking angry it's not a better film. Like, I'm really mad that it's not a better film. I didn't expect it to be great. I wasn't expecting it to be good. But I was expecting it to be better than what it was, because that was nonsense. Like, and Henderson, he's so friendly and progressive through the whole thing. Is Christian Slater's character. Like, we see him, okay, there's another person here with, another wind talker or code talker, and, like, he's a super nice guy. And he's either being very cavalier about the fact that he was told that you may have to murder this person, or he's just naive enough to think it's not going to come to that, which is fine. That's all fine. I just wish that I understood more about him and why he was such a nice guy. He played a very, like, boy next door kind of, like, person.
Right. He even in the end can't do his duty. Like, he looks at Whitehorse and says, we can't let them take us. And he points the gun at Whitehorse, and Whitehorse in that moment has the understanding of what is about to happen. And instead, Ox shoots at the incoming guys and then is beheaded for it.
I'm going to say that was actually probably the best scene of the movie.
Yeah.
Is that exchange between them. First of all, Whitehorse even coming in just with a knife, like, fucking taking everyone out. Like, I'm sorry, I thought you lived on the reservation. Were you also taking martial arts classes, like, all this time? Like, you're smart and, like, well-rounded physically. Like, come on, dad body. Like, come on.
He's a Marine. He knows how to use a knife.
He was just a person on the reservation. Like, he has as much physical training as Yahzee's character is supposed to have. Like, they volunteered for this.
Yep.
They weren't, like, soldiers before. At least from my understanding, they weren't soldiers before.
No, they weren't. But, I mean, in addition to their code talking classes, I assume that they went through basic training.
Oh, I'm sure they went through some amount of that, yeah. I just didn't expect him to be, superheroing it the whole time, because that whole scene was just beautifully done. That was a really great scene, starting with Christian Slater's character, Henderson, having his head chopped off with a fucking samurai sword. Like, that was boss. That lasted, like, 4 minutes, that scene, and it was the best scene in the movie.
I have written here in my notes, about an hour into the movie, I'm like, Christian Slater's gonna die, isn't he?
Oh, no.
So, like, I totally called that.
Yeah. I wasn't even paying attention to that. I was just trying to stay awake.
You should have done what I did, paused it and taken a nap.
I probably should have. Also, plain CGI.
Plain CGI was bad.
It's just, it's interesting to have that many mediums.
They also, so they're traipsing across Saipan, and they're trying to, get to their next point, and they get attacked by fellow Marines.
Yeah.
And it's never explained where that snafu came from, why the other Marines started firing on them. It's only used as a setup to take the radio away from Yahzee's character, so that he then has to pretend to be a Japanese soldier to get a Japanese radio.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting little... I liked that scene. I thought that was a very interesting little scene. It's a way for him to prove himself to his comrades and also introduces some suspense into the script.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But it was so short-lived. Although Nicolas Cage's acting as the prisoner,
yes,
was so good. It was so good. I also was really annoyed by the voiceover of Rita's letters.
Yeah, we could have done you could have cut that entirely.
Like, she was monotone. He wasn't opening them. He wasn't reading them. So what was the point of us having that? I don't know what kind of relationship they had when he was in the hospital. Like, I don't know if they were, like, together or if she just, like, had a crush on him.
She clearly had a crush on him. She helped him get back into service.
Which is so dangerous.
Yeah.
So dangerous. But they also, like, forgot that he had a hearing problem halfway through the movie. So...
Right.
I mean, it clearly wasn't written for him to be hard of hearing like that. The other scene that I really liked was right before their camp got stormed by the Japanese and Henderson and Whitehorse's death happened. Right before that, when he goes into his commanding officer's tent, he's like, I can't do this. So he's talking to Peter Stormare. I can't pronounce. I'm not even going to pretend to try to pronounce his character's last name. So he's telling him, like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm out. I'm done. And the way, like, that's why you love Peter Stormare. He's like, ha! You want out. And, like, just absolutely went crazy on him in such a good, controlled way. Like, that was a pretty good scene. The scene where they're drunk and they're talking in the cemetery after the first big battle is also... Yeah. It's okay. It's pretty okay.
This is a dull movie that is punctuated by occasional good scenes. Right. And there's not enough of them to string together to make a good, cohesive narrative. It's just vignettes of interestingness.
I think what John Woo was trying to do was create a film that had an interesting take about World War II from the perspective of it not being, number one, Europe, because it's always Europe, right? Right. But also, we're not talking about, going into, like, this one very big battle. Like, this is the overtaking of an entire very small island that's actually a fort. Like, it's definitely different. I will give it marks on that, because as far as, like, World War II movies go, that is different. Yeah. And I did appreciate that, but
I would also like to learn more about the Navajo code talkers. I think that's a very interesting subject. I think that the movie has a very interesting premise that it just can't live up to.
Yeah, that's exactly what it felt like. Yeah, it felt like it wrote a check it couldn't cash, and I don't know. There's so many things about this movie that just don't mix. Like, we see, like, at the beginning of the film, in the first thing that Joe Enders is in, where all of his platoon dies, where he gets blown up. Which, to be fair. And maybe it's just because last week we watched a Michael Bay film with good explosions, but, like, Joe Enders would have lost at least a limb, not just hearing. Like, he was so close to that bomb. He should have been pulverized. So, like, the pyrotechnics weren't great either. I feel like what they did was they made a film on the old MASH set. Like there's just the urgency, right? There's the constant urgency of the war that's all around us, but, like, it's literally 2 hours and 14 minutes of running and crawling and shooting and dodging and ridiculous near misses that, like, I think one of the reasons it made me so tired was just because the sheer amount of effort to continuously, like, it's kind of hard to watch that. Also, Nicolas Cage's character didn't know how to use his gun, and then definitely knew how to use his gun. Like, in the opening scene, like, you see him, like, doing, like, you know, the back and forth shit, like he doesn't know what he's doing. And, like, he does that when he's holding machine guns throughout the whole movie. But if he has a handgun, he's a goddamn Jedi. When they go and they get the Japanese radio to stop the friendly fire that's coming, and he had that gun that he put in the back of Yahzee's pants, like, he grabbed it out of the waistband, and he killed, like, I think 9 people without missing a single shot. And then there's a trench. There's a whole ass trench. There's not 5 guys in trenches. Like, that's where most of the people are. That's where, like, most of your soldiers, they're all in the trenches. So if it's like, if we're talking 1,000 people, there's like at least 800 people in this trench. And Nicolas Cage single-handedly, with a pistol, killed everyone except the one guy that was needed for Ben Yahzee to stab in the back so he got a taste for blood. Because he went a little absolutely mental at the end, didn't he?
I have a note there that he, what did I write down? Oh, Nick's a little crazy with bloodlust. That's my note. Nick's a little crazy with bloodlust. Like,
and so is Ben Yahzee.
Yeah. Well, Ben Yahzee is trying really hard to prove himself and was unable to kill the guy before, and doesn't want to make that same mistake in front of Nick Cage again. But Nick Cage is just like, I'm gonna kill all these motherfuckers.
Straight up. And that is his entire personality, the entire movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill these motherfuckers. And that's just what it's gonna be.
Yeah. All right, so this movie sucked.
This movie sucked hard. Yeah, this movie was just not good. This movie was, like, honorable mention to the amazing cast that was in this movie, but...
So what would you give, like, I would give it an F.
Oh, no, this is absolutely a failed film. It's failure. It's absolutely failure.
What do we give what's our Nick Cage score? What's the Nick Caginess of it?
The Nick Caginess, I'm gonna say, is, you know, fuck it, I'm giving it an A. I'm giving it an A. Because we see, so, like, he is the only character with any real depth.
Yeah.
At all. And, like, we see everything about him.
I think Christian Slater's character has some depth to him.
You know what? Yeah.
But it's just those two. Everybody else is a cardboard cutout.
I'm going to say that the actors acted the hell out of that movie. Their characters just didn't have any backstory. They didn't have any real motivation. And the actors were probably like, well, your motivation is you're fighting.
Right.
And, like, they made characters out of them. And, like, the emotion that you see with Nellie and Mark Ruffalo's character when they're talking at the fire the day before, and he's like, if something happens to me, please give this to my wife. The face, the everything, the emotions, like, you can tell these people are actors. I know what you do for a living, sirs. You're very good at it. And I would honestly say that I would give the acting in this movie overall a B. Nicolas Cage I would give an A to, because his range is just more, I think.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, I think that's it. I think I'm done talking about Windtalkers.
I'm so sorry. I feel really bad. Yeah, I am for sure done talking about this movie. So before we go, just a reminder, you can check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/NotTheBees. We're also on Instagram at NotTheBeesPod. And we'll see you guys next week, because we gotta watch this movie out of our mouths.
Yeah. All right. Goodbye, Megan.
Goodbye.